All right, it's time to know what's on the front page of the Nigerian newspapers. Joining me is broadcast journalist Ife Onyegbuli and journalist Dari Udufowokon. Gentlemen of the press, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Good morning. Nice to be here again.
All right. It's good to have you back, Ife.
Thank you.
All right, let's head straight.
Welcome,
Oh, God. All right, let's head straight to the papers now. And I begin with the blueprint. Nigerian elders warn we can't afford another civil war. Nigerian elders warn we can't afford another civil war. You find that story on the front page of the blueprint. We move quickly now to the Daily Independent. Naira may not regain what it lost. Analysts. Naira may not regain what it lost. Analysts. You find details of that story on the front page of the Daily Independent. To the Tribune now. Anambra 2021. Gunmen attack Soludo, kill 3 police aides. Gunmen attack Soludo, kill 3 police aides. You find details of this story on the front page of the Tribune newspaper. To the Business Day now, passengers to pay more at Easter on shortage of aircraft. Details of that story in the Business Day. To the Daily Times now, Nigeria, other African states face debt crisis, slow growth. Nigeria, other African states face debt crisis, slow growth. Details of that story on the front page of the Daily Times. To the Vanguard. Insecurity, Nigeria struggling, needs help. UK envoy says UK government ready to help because your insecurity is our insecurity. Afenifere, Ohaneze, NEF, MBF, others back UK. Details of these stories on the pages of the Vanguard newspaper. To the Guardian now. Shortage of COVID-19 vaccines spark fears of fakery, hoarding. Federal government here to spend supplementary budget for COVID-19 expenses. Nigeria plans to get 17 million Johnson & Johnson vaccines through AU. You'll find more of on that story and on the pages of the Guardian newspaper. To the Daily Sun. Agony, anxiety as doctors begin strike. Vow to ground public hospitals. Family members evacuate patients. Agony, anxiety as doctors begin strike. Vow to ground public hospitals. Family members evacuate patients. We'll be looking at that story. Details of all of that on the front page of the Daily Sun. To the Nation now. Buni-led caretaker tenure. APC chairman under pressure. Plot thickings to extend party's membership registration. Shift of convention. You find details of that story on the pages of the Nation newspaper. To the Punch now. PDP orders carpet federal government as U.S. alleges massive graft in Buhari regime. Corruption pervasive in government, including judiciary, security agencies, U.S. rights abuses under Buhari government worse than under military dictatorship, says PDP. You find all of those stories in the pages of the Punch newspaper. To the Daily Trust now. Military yet to submit estimates for arms. Federal government. Defense officials mum they are being careful. Expert 396 billion naira supplementary budget for COVID-19 ready. Government halts proposed healthcare centers in states. All right, let's quickly move to the news direct. Federal government to spend 396 billion naira on COVID-19 vaccination. Finance Minister, how Nigeria can successfully vaccinate its over 200 million population. Lawan. But let's look at the story on the front page of the Daily Sun, talking about doctors beginning a warning strike. Today, they had been talking about that for some time now. And if you look at the trend, this is like the 3rd time in 9 months that doctors have been talking and speaking about warning strike and down in twos. We are in the middle of a pandemic and the whole situation, a lot of anxiety, agony, as doctors are beginning to speak about this issue of the strike because of so many issues. But then let me begin with you, Dari. I wonder what you make of this development, knowing that the demands they have been making is the same thing they say they have been talking about over a decade ago.
You see, when I saw this headline, I remember the course I took back in school.
Okay.
It has to do with developmental journalism. And then, during that course, we were made to understand the fact that as professionals, we must concern ourselves with development, progress, growth, the interest of the public. We were trained that we asked journalists. So I'm left to wonder if doctors don't get to do such courses. How sound unfriendly with the labor today, because this is a matter that has to do with community health. You nailed it. We are in the middle of a pandemic. If there are anybody or any group of persons we need most at this time, they are health workers. I want to believe that in the interest of growth, development, and public health especially, which is the bastion of all they stand for as public health workers, I mean the doctors. Public health is currently threatened. We are battling COVID-19. A few days ago, Nigeria got a warning concerning Ebola. That there are outbreaks in East African countries, and because of the influx of movements into Nigeria from all parts of the world, Nigeria is threatened by that. In some states, Lassa fever is threatening, killing. Unknown ailments. You see in Nasarawa where some people ate something and a couple died, 4 died, 5 died. We are still trying to find out what killed them. We have all these issues on our hand. Then the doctors are angry, legitimately angry. I will not take away the legitimacy of their anger. Legitimately angry about the usual attitude of government, not only to doctors, to teachers, to accountants, to lawyers, to workers generally. These doctors are angry. But should we not, as professionals who deals with the health of the public, should we not put the interest
of the people
ahead of their at this point in time, knowing fully well that if you get all these demands eventually and the people are no longer there will be no work for you to do. Yes, it is just like a producer.
But what happens when they are
let me make this
limited
analysis.
resources?
Yes,
they also are at a risk. You would recall that we lost about 20 doctors in December.
I agree with you.
Right.
2 wrongs now on the table. It will make it right.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, I told you their anger is legitimate because it's not just about money. It's about work tools
welfare,
too.
basically.
But when a producer of anything discards or ignores its raw materials, it will end up coming back to nothing to produce with. The people are the raw materials of these doctors.
I need to get
Put their interest above your own now. Let's have middle points without having to go on strike. Agitate without risking the life of the people.
I wonder if that is what you see here, that they should put the interest of the people ahead of their own interests, knowing that a majority of them are under pressure. They are working under pressure because we have limited number of doctors. A lot of them are having mental health challenges, the stress as a result of dealing with the pandemic. Yet their welfare is like living in uncertainty, working under uncertain conditions. They saw their fellow, their colleagues die from this same pandemic. They should, in all of this, still put the interest of the people ahead of theirs.
Exactly. That's what I want to truly agree with Dari. Some of the things he's talked about this morning. You just mentioned that we are actually in the thick of it, talking about the pandemic as it is. I wonder what it is that's come over you, that you decide that this is a period that you need to go on strike. I read a report yesterday about a hospital that had to suspend surgeries because there was no water in that hospital. That's understandable. There shouldn't be any reason for water not to be
available,
be available in a hospital where people are performing surgeries. So they had to suspend all surgeries. So imagine people whose lives depended on that immediate surgeries that they were supposed to do. They had to now suspend it. Now, let's come back to this. Doctors going on strike and all of that. I don't think this is a time for it. That's the truth. But I know many people will not agree with us what it is we're talking about. They would say, look, you need to bang your requests home. And the only way you can do that is to hit them below the belt while we're still in this pandemic as it is. But I just think it's a wrong step at a very wrong time. But everything you're asking of, it's okay. It is legitimate. That's the word that Daryl used. And I want to hammer on that. Very legit. But then, is this the better time? Is this the right time to do that? I would say no. And that's my opinion as if you're Jebule. I'm not speaking for anyone. Do you understand? It is not the right time. It's not the time.
So how else can they drive home their points with the government?
For us now,
they have been having this conversation for over a decade.
And that's why the media just needs to be on the case of government. Do you understand? We understand what it is people are going through. Remember what happened during the EndSARS protest. The young people who trooped in on the streets were not fighting for themselves. They were saying, give the police a better, life, better pay and all of
welfare
that.
package.
Whatever it is, So what we're saying now is, the media now needs to be on the case of government as it is. But for the doctors to say that this is the period they want to go on strike or that they're beginning the strike, I don't think it's a good thing. They need to sit down and think about it. And for me, I'm just saying government needs to wake up to her responsibilities. That's the truth. Because this is one strike too many. ASU, this strike, that strike, teacher strike. What are we talking about? What is happening to the monies that Nigeria is actually boasting of? You hear countries say that if we're half as rich as Nigeria
in resources,
exactly, we wouldn't be exactly where it is that we are. So how can we be a country that is blessed with milk and honey and we're still suffering? That's the question we need to begin to ask ourselves. Give them their pay, give them their better welfare. They're doing a great job. Without those people, you can imagine where we would be. I saw the people who were given the vaccine. When I got there, I looked at them. These people risk their lives every day. How come they're not getting exactly what it is that they want? And maybe this is the reason that they troop to other countries.
Of course.
You get to other countries, you find that the best doctors there are Nigerians. So what are we doing? Those are the questions we need to begin to ask. And I'm hoping that government will answer these questions someday.
Daryl, what other options do you think is open to, the doctors can be open to right now to drive home their point? Because we must give it to them that a lot of them are working under intense pressure and they need this welfare package, whether we like it or not.
As I've said this before, years back, that as a matter of urgency, we must find a way of outlawing strikes for doctors and teachers.
Really?
Especially in Nigeria.
No, it's their right, Dari. Let's remember that.
No.
It's their right.
It's my opinion. We just must find a way of outlawing strikes for doctors and teachers in Nigeria. How do I mean? I'm saying this because I want to respond to your question.
Absolutely.
What other option?
Yes.
If strike is not an option for these key workers, I am sure they and we, all of us, will find options. Why am I insisting we should outlaw strike? If it is their right, as it is now, it is their right.
Yes,
it is a tool with which they can negotiate.
With government, yes.
They will definitely be pushed to the wall to use it one day. Then we will be here complaining about the timing of their using it. But that's what they have. It is allowed. So they will end up using it. And when they use it, lives are lost. I was in the office yesterday when I heard of the case of a woman who was due for a corrective surgery after childbirth in one of the hospitals that had to be moved out because doctors will start a strike. That woman may just end up losing her life. Corrective. It's a life and death situation. We may lose that life avoidably. If it comes to teachers, students are kept at home, their life frittered away in bits because some people are agitating for what right they should rightfully get. Having established that, the idea of waiting for a time you think you can force the hand of government to make demands is a very bad thing. When you say, I read through what the demands are now, largely unpaid salaries. Those salaries were now accumulated in just 1 week or 1 month. Why don't we have this culture of mounting pressure and shouting every time our rights are
once and for all?
Once and for all. You fail to pay me this month. Make noise that month. Make the same noise. Let the whole world know. A governor we are praising. We've been praising that this guy. I learned recently that he's only in 11 months in this country. But the people in the state, because the workers, the union leaders are being thieved here and there, being given extra codes to go to one day.
These are unfounded statements.
I did not mention the name of any governor.
Right.
They kept quiet. The moment those people, you see, let me tell you what happened. I've been in labor unions. We are our own problem. When a new set of labor leaders emerge, they want the attention of government. They want the attention of the employers. They make a lot of noise. They threaten strike. They probably will go on strike. Then they get the attention of the authorities. And I tell you, if care is not taken, if the workers behind them are not smart and determined, you will not hear of any other noise until 2 or 4 years that the term of those people will expire. They've been taken care of. Then we will wait for all those issues to be piled up somewhere. A new set of people emerge again, whether you are inside pandemic or you are inside any serious situation, they want attention. They repeat the cycle. When the negotiations are being done, you and I always monitor them.
Of course.
We know that there is always nothing conclusive. So why do we do this half-baked, halfway negotiations to push the issue to another day?
Meaning they haven't learned lessons over the years.
They don't want to learn. Not that they have not. They don't want to learn the lessons about getting things done
once and for
all. Not waiting on, in this pandemic, they will not want us to go on strike. We will go on strike. It's unfair to the people. The people pay their tax. They do the other responsibilities of citizenry. The government gets the money. The government don't pay you. The people suffer. The president just left the country for checkup abroad. The doctors can continue to strike. He will have his checkup abroad and come back home. Some people need instant treatment. Right. They can't go anywhere else. So I want to believe that there are 1,001 other ways we can do this.
Any example?
For example, we can decide to do sit-ins. Sit-in, only, we have 10 doctors in this facility. Only 2 will be working. All right. For the next 1 week.
Nigeria is such a peculiar place. What Dari has talked about will not work. Let me also point
because we will not push it.
Let me also point out to you that it just wasn't nice to the people for you to say whether or not the doctors are on strike, that the president is in the UK and he's going to get...
It's obvious.
Yes.
The strike here will not affect his
Can I just land?
Let her land.
Can I land?
Yes, please.
It's not nice for you to say that.
It's not about me. No, don't personalize.
No, you said it. You said it now.
I said it that
whether
you are striking here or not, it will not affect what
yes,
you're doing.
Yes, because
there.
it's the president. This is the president that Nigeria has taken care of all through his life.
Good.
But for you to rub it in the face of Nigerians to say the president
maybe you
will
just want to run away from the reality.
No. For you to
that's
say that.
Doing.
No, that's just not being. You're not reaching out. That's not what they want to hear. As it is now, you need to pacify the people because people are angry that for doctors going on strike, you would expect that the leader of a country is here and trying to find out what it is that's going on. But you're saying on national TV that he's there, he's going to get the care that he wants, whether they go on strike or not. Yes. I think that's not a wonderful thing to say. But be that as it may, we need to understand.
We are national TV.
We need to understand that.
Let's clarify this.
I'm
what
talking.
I'm saying
I'm
is
talking,
you got
Gary.
it wrong. No.
Talking.
You got it wrong trying to play up that aspect. The truth of the matter is, it is on national TV that the president traveled.
Right.
It is on national TV that the doctors are on strike.
That is not the issue.
The doctor's strike stop is
let's back to the issue.
It
I wanted to make a point.
Yes. So what I'm trying to say now is the doctors need to find a way, get on the table, talk about it.
Yes.
And government, for me, I want to be on the doorstep of government to say, if you know what is right, why don't you do it? You don't owe yourself salaries. We've never heard that governors are owed salaries. We've never heard that local government chairmen or their vice chairmen are owed salaries. We've never heard that people who work in the houses of, you know, the state houses and of course at the national level, we've never heard that they're owed salaries. Now, how do you owe people who help to keep lives? You're owing them salaries. How do you expect them to survive? Those are the questions we need to ask. We need to talk to government to say, look, if you know what is right, why don't you just do it? Instead of just keeping mute and making the people look like they're just demanding for something that is extraordinary, call them to a table to say, okay, we're owing you X amount of money. This is what we can afford. Let's pay this in chunks. I'm sure they will listen. These human beings are not devils.
But isn't that what government has been doing?
But have they been paying them?
Ask that question.
Have they been paying them?
If you have not been paid.
So why did they stop? You said
why did they stop the strike they were on the last time?
Why did they
when they were not paid?
That is the other issue.
Why did they stop the strike they were on last time? When they were not paid.
So, but for this to happen at this time, we agree that it is wrong timing. Yes, it's okay to go on strike, demand what it is that you want, but we need to be on the tail of government. They need to do exactly what it is that they're supposed to be doing.
Maybe what we should do is let's do division of labor. While you are on the tail of government, let me be on the tail of the doctors. I am not concerned about the effect of this strike on public health.
I agree with you. I agree.
Buhari, I want to repeat that Buhari is abroad for just checkup. He will get his checkup either you are on strike or not.
But he doesn't spell well.
Now you are getting it.
He doesn't spell well. This is the giant of Africa. And we should have hospitals that have international standards.
That will go to here.
Yes.
Good.
We should.
Now the doctors should look at the fact that even the president can afford to jet out during the pandemic.
So what happens to the poor man? What happens to the poor man?
My page. They should now pity the people who cannot even go to next door Benin Republic. Suspend this strike. Negotiate in any other way possible with government. Then don't tell us they are owing you backlog of salaries. I hate to hear it. When they owe you 1 month, 2 months, why didn't you shout?
Deal with it head on. That is
say it and stop trying to hit below the belt like if it's suggested.
All right.
It won't help anybody.
Let's move on to another issue right now. This issue that okay. So, because I hear that we can't move forward to any other topic, we just have to final words. Our final words with regards to this doctor strike. As much as we understand that government, on the part of government, which is the bane here for a lot of doctors, it's reneging on, agreements. I mean, what does it take to really agree and follow it to the letter?
It's just being sincere. That's just having the will to do the right thing. That's just it for me, point blank. We need to have that will to do the right thing. If you say you're owing those people money and the money is there, why don't you pay? That's the truth. I don't even think the issue of the president traveling out should come into this conversation as it is. That's the gentleman who's been here all through the pandemic. He's been able to stay on. There's nothing wrong in doing that. But for it to come into our conversation, it just does not make any sense because people read all sorts of meanings into it. But for me, I would say they need to wake up. And when I say they, I mean government. Come to the table, talk to these people, be sincere. It's about sincerity of purpose. Once that happens, I'm sure these people would love to get back to work.
Some of the monies that we seem to be generating from either COVID and all of that should be perhaps used to address this issue of welfare packages for some of the doctors.
I see that as opportunism, sheer opportunism. What if we didn't have COVID-19 and there is no CACO Fit fund? We won't pay them? You see, it still boils down to what we are saying. People looking for opportunities to hit the other camp, and you end up eating the people. And that is why the issue of Mr. President traveling is germane in this discussion. The government knew that government officials can afford to travel abroad and do whatever they want to do. They should take care of the local doctors who will take care of us, since we can't go anywhere on their own part. Since the doctors knew that, either they strike here or not, these people will go away and get them. They should pity the local people who come to them for treatment. So if both parties put the interest of the people over and above their own, we won't have situations like this.
All right.
I still insist that the government should respond to the legitimate demands of the doctors, while also insisting that the doctors should, at all times, put the interest of the people. the interest of public health.
All right.
Over and above whatever it is they are agitating for.
Right.
Because they will always come back to these same people when they are tired of their agitation.
Okay, we'll be having this conversation again after the break with Dr. Chukwujama Ejiofor. He is the second Vice President, Nigeria Association of Resident Doctors. I will be sharing your views with him and getting his reaction to all of this. And we hope that government is listening and it does the needful. Thank you so much, broadcast journalist Ifeanyi Egbule and journalist Dario Duforokun, for your time on the program.
Thank you.